We gotta wait for the ad to play.
I have an ad. Cetaphil.
You guys let me know when you can start to see us. Hello, everybody. Stephen, you can see we are on.
Hey, everybody.
And no F-bombs from Kristi.
I was learning. Real quiet.
She's learning. How are our volume? Are volume levels good? Thank you, David.
You're a little crushed.
I'm a little crushed. Well, that's gonna have to do it. All right. I think we've got all of the gremlins worked out today. So we actually let you guys know that we were going to be going live. I think it was yesterday. And so
today.
I thought we did it yesterday.
No,
and then they kind of, okay.
They completely slacked off.
Well, it is the third Thursday, and we always go live on the third Thursday. Anyway, so the first question we got in our community page from Ray was, now that you have your dream home, will you set up a dedicated theater space with a projector? What's holding you back? What's exciting you? And how do you feel about it? And we laughed about this over breakfast because up until this point, I would have said there's no way that I'm ever doing a dedicated theater again. I've had several. And if you watch this channel, you know that I have routinely maintained that I never used them. But we recently went back to the movies. First, for my birthday, went to the El Capitan Theater, walked out of Thor: Love and Thunder because it was horrendous. Well, the movie was bad too.
Oh, the movie was terrible.
But the sound of the El Capitan Theater, despite the projectionist and manager telling me that because they have Dolby Atmos, there are no problems, was terrible. And then
it was so bad that, I mean, I already have a bit of trouble understanding dialogue, and Andrew had just done nothing but talk this theater up since we've met, and so we were really excited
because I've been going to the El Capitan since I was like 19 years old.
And mind you, this was our first in theater experience in several years, you know, because we were staying away from theaters because of you know what. But anyway, so I was really excited. I had never been. It's a gorgeous theater.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful. But I, like, the first couple of minutes, I was like, I can't understand the thing they're saying. And I didn't want to say anything because I thought it's just me.
Yeah, but lo and behold, I'm sitting there going, so how long do I have to sit here before we walk out? It was echoey and terrible. And so then when we got back home, we went to a theater. We saw Top Gun Maverick. I know, we waited. But we waited so that we had basically the whole theater to ourselves. And we can discuss the film later. But that experience was also pretty terrible. So we were talking about it today. I apologize for the giant truck, one of our neighbors. He has an old-fashioned truck. So we were talking about it today and saying that, yes, I would have never considered to build another dedicated home theater. But after these two really bad theater going experiences, I'm leaning back towards maybe that's something that we need to do because
I think we got so, well, I know
we're so spoiled.
For me personally, well, yeah, we're spoiled because we have really big screen TV here, but also growing up and living in Austin, my basically like the past 15, 20 years, the only theater experience I've really had is at the Alamo Drafthouse. And I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's a chain based out of Austin. There's locations all over the US, but they are very strict about the movie-going experience. You cannot arrive late. You cannot text or look at your phone during the movie. You can't talk. If you do, they will throw your ass out.
Yeah, they
and it's really awesome because not only can you like drink beer and eat good food, but you know you don't have to deal with people that act like they've never ever had an experience out in the public. So we don't have that here.
No.
And it is just a very, very different movie going experience. People just seem to like forget they're in public. So after those two experiences, we've really, it's made us really rethink things.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, the technology in the home has gotten so good that it's just one of those things where it's like, is the home theater experience actually better? And maybe I'm going to have to make a couple of videos about this, because I don't know. These last two theater going experiences were not great. Let's put it that way.
But to answer what was Ray's question about, you know, how do I feel about having a dedicated home theater room? I would have never said that I would be open to that. I think mostly I think they're kind of a waste. But after our recent experiences, I think I would reconsider that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't feel like we could do that in this house.
We couldn't do it in this house the way the house is currently configured, but if we did an addition, then maybe we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, while we do have more space than our previous Austin home, it's still not quite.
None of the spaces are conducive for a screening room, but we have land, so we could easily extend the house, not easily, but we could extend the house and make that part of a renovation down the road if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely considering it. But for those 5 of you that still really like projectors, we currently have a projector hooked up just off camera here. It doesn't suck. I'm enjoying it. So maybe there's a future for me in dedicated home theaters. Okay.
We have a couple of super chats.
Okay.
We want to get out of the way. And did you go through this yet? Did you say that? Did you give the spiel?
I put the disclaimer on the screen. Go ahead.
You got to do it. You got to do it verbally.
All right.
So guys, if you leave us a super chat, first of all, thank you. We do really appreciate it. Like Improved Garage right here canceled their work meeting to be here. That's, I mean, I appreciate it.
That's how you show out.
I think everyone wins, right?
Yeah. Nick, thank you. Super chat.
If it seems like we missed your question, we're not doing it purposely. But please come back if for some reason you can't stick around, or we do indeed miss it during the live. Please come back within like a day or two, and I will answer all the questions that were missed in the comments. Okay, end of spiel.
All right. Hello. First, I'm sorry that I encountered your channel this late. Second, I love it. This natural and sympathy way of reviews is a first to me. Third, thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate it. And you know what? Better late than never. We're really glad that you found us. We don't care how you guys get to us. We're just happy that you're here. So I saw another one here. Oh, here it is. Is it better to match a Sony soundbar to a Sony TV for best sound collaboration? Well, I will say from a connection standpoint, it does seem to be the case. I don't know if it necessarily makes the sound quality of the products any better, but in terms of compatibility, not running into little gremlins and headaches, it definitely seems to help. Now, Samsung goes a little bit further in that their Q Symphony allows their bars to also simultaneously use the built-in TV speakers. And at first, or on paper, that seems like a real gimmick, but in practice, now that we've done it a couple of times, it's really, really impressive. And a couple of Sony products will enable you to use the speakers inside the TV as a center channel, although they do it this tethered way, which I'm not a fan of. But it does work, so that's really great as well. And I know LG has great sync using their soundbars wirelessly, so there are going to be pros and cons. But will a Sony soundbar sound better connected to a Sony TV versus, say, a Samsung one? That I don't put any stock in. So let's see.
I have a quick question here for you. Raul Castillo says, "Hey Andrew, first time here. So after a year, I finally ordered my all-in-one sound, I'm assuming sound bar, the Ambio, with the SVS PB1000 Pro. What are your thoughts on this sound bar in 2022?
SVS?
Yeah, it's one of their subwoofers. I mean, I think the more important question is, what are your thoughts about the Ambio in 2022?
Oh, it's still the best. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it. I still have yet to come across a soundbar that is full featured and as adjustable and as just downright awesome as the Ambio. The Samsung Q line of soundbars is my second pick, followed by Bang & Olufsen Sound Stage. But the Ambio is still the king. All these years later, still the king.
It's still good. I think they're going to come out with another one, though.
We haven't any details on it.
We don't have any details. Yeah. Our old contact at Sennheiser has changed departments, and the new people, I'm not quite sure how successful we are going to be at getting that product.
But you know we're going to try.
But we're going to do our best. Yeah. And we're really excited about hopefully a potential, version 2.
Yeah.
Because like Andrew says, I still think it's the best out there. For me, like the runner-up would be the still is the Samsung Q950A.
Yeah.
We do have we've been told that the new version, the 990B or whatever they're calling it, is on the way. It hasn't gotten here yet, but be looking for that coming up.
Yeah.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to, I know you've got Vadim up here, but
yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Vadim, and I hope your family members are doing better, or that you've been able to, or that they're okay. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
And if you have a GoFundMe or something,
we already went over it.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah, we
okay.
already went over it.
I'm catching up. Sorry.
Yeah, but Vadim, we hope everyone in your family is okay.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
I want to give a quick shout out to Steve Burke. He did a super chat. No question. Just showing some love, which, hey.
Yeah. Babu, he also, us and Jimmy Kimmel. That's it. Us and Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, come on.
Well, that's pretty decent company.
Mr. Mobs, Sonus Faber Olympica Nova. Any opinion? Oh, I wish I did have an opinion. Sorry, our AC is going to kick on. Kristi's taking care of that. I wish I did have an opinion. Unfortunately, I don't, and I don't want to even speculate and potentially give you bad information. So I'm sorry, but we do have a pretty massive Sonus Faber review coming up. So if you're asking, should you buy this product or considering buying it, if you can hold out for just a little bit, we've got some Sonus Faber content coming your way really, really soon.
We have a super chat from Boxcar P. He's also a member, I'm pretty sure. Do you see that one? Do you have a specific routine when setting up your speakers? It's a good question.
I do. Again, apologies for the AC. It'll turn off here in a second. I do have a specific routine. I have identified kind of the relative space that all speakers sound good in our room. So if it's, bookshelf or tower, they all seem to kind of go in the same spot. But then what I'll do is I'll listen to a couple of tracks, determine the bit of, toe in and whatnot. Oh, also apologies if it becomes thunderous, because we get rainstorms almost every day now. Anyway, I'll give it a couple of tracks, listen to it, kind of adjust toe in and everything kind of by ear. And then I'll grab my measuring equipment and I'll start doing some in-room sweeps. And then from there, I'll determine if going forwards and backwards is really doing anything demonstrable with respect to the frequency response. It usually helps in the bass more than anything. And then once I kind of determine what's good enough, I leave well enough alone, disconnect everything, and just play music. So I do that for every speaker.
We have a super chat from Q188.
Okay.
Do you see that one?
Yes,
it's a green
I do.
one. Just upgraded to the La Scala AL5 from the Heresy 4. Congratulations. Hello, I miss them.
Yeah.
They have a 16-foot by 24-foot room. Any advice on getting the most out of them based on your experience? And did you pair it with a sub?
We did try it with a sub. I did try it with my SVS. And admittedly, it does change the tonality, if you will, of the speakers. I ultimately didn't decide to keep the sub connected. With certain music, it definitely helped, no question. But I always, no matter if I kept the sub really low and just blended it and feathered it in to the point where it was almost not even there, I was still always aware of it because that horn-loaded woofer is just so quick, you know, so quick on the attack. I found that kind of bringing them together a little, ours ended up being a little bit closer together than I think some people would consider, but it worked out very well. They did not need any toe in. In fact, I preferred them straight ahead as opposed to towing them in a little bit. I felt that when I towed them in, the scale of everything kind of diminished a little bit, and they became a little bit too treble focused for me. So leaving them straight ahead, pushed them up right against the back of the wall, that reinforced, or right up against the front wall, reinforced the bass, did bring out a little extra oomph for those speakers. But honestly, for me and those speakers, get yourself a pretty nice little tube amp, something that gives it a little bit of fuzz, a little bit of haze, you know. It's magic. It's absolutely magic. So,
you ready for the next super
well,
chat
I see
question?
that Sean.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Okay, I see that Sean here does a center Canadian.
Can you? Oh, you got it.
Yeah. Does a center channel speaker have to match the rest of the system, or can it be the best as it does most of the work? You can do whatever you want. I know that in terms of timbre or tonality, the common adage is you want at least your front three speakers to match, if not all of your speakers to match from the same manufacturer. But it's true. It's true. Some designs are just better than some other ones. For example, not saying that you need to do this, by the way, this is just an example. Like the Elysian center speaker is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Elysian 4s, the Elysian 2s, Elysian, or whatever they are, those are also equally amazing. However, they're also really expensive. Not that the center is cheap, but if you had, say, a pair of Polk R700 towers already, and you knew that you really wanted a center channel that was just going to be the business, maybe splurge. They both come in a black finish, albeit one's gloss, one's not. But you know, you can mix and match that way. It's entirely up to you. It's your theater, it's your space. You have to do what makes sense for you.
I am going to link the answer to Vladik's. Oh my gosh.
Oh, his Sony soundbar.
Yeah, I'm gonna link to our written review of that for you. We did not like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and link to that review in the super chat. So look for that, Vladik, and you can read it at your leisure. We definitely would recommend the A9 system over that soundbar. It just wasn't good.
I do want to point out, in our soundbar written review on our website, which I want to take a quick break here and say that Kristi has been diligently working on our website behind the scenes. So after this live stream, if you want to go visit what she's been doing, we are trying to give you guys even a different level of experience beyond just the videos. And it's also going to be a great way for you to kind of go back to the transcript of what we said for further review or anything like that. But she's been working really hard on it.
I mean, I've been slacking off the past couple of weeks, but yes.
There's some content there. She goes in spurts, but there's some content there. Yes, please do hit the like button. We really do appreciate it. I saw, oh no, it's not coming up, but Ethan, he wrote, any opinion on direct multi-sub versus room perfect. And he's a new member. Thank you for becoming a member. I have not used room perfect, but I am pretty comfortable, confident, and use Dirac a lot. I am one of these, maybe the few people in home theater, I rarely use two subwoofers. I used to be a big proponent of it, and then I don't know what happened. I just stopped caring about dual subs. I have used dual subs through Dirac. I prefer to do dual subs through Mini DSP, but ultimately 99 times out of 100, I just rock the solo subwoofer. So
before you move on to another chat, I wanted to shout out to David Hildebrand. he mentioned something. Oh my gosh, now I've lost it. He mentioned something about the Technics SR1000 that you turned him on to it, and that you were spot on, and especially about the phono stage.
So good.
It's so good. That is still one of the best stereo receivers, whatever.
That amplifiers. Okay. After that review, I did inquire about purchasing that piece outright, and had we probably not been simultaneously trying to buy a house, I would have the R1000, but I needed all that money for a down payment.
Darn down payments.
Darn down payments. I've got a Drew Petty.
Yeah.
I have 3 Klipsch 8060 FA towers and a Sony ES receiver that claims 120 watts per channel. Should I run an external amp? Also, how can I find out the true watts of an AVR? Without maybe testing equipment, I don't know if there is a way that you can find out the true watts of an AVR. There's a couple of mathematical equations out there that will get you close. I don't know them off the top of my head, but ultimately you're going to have to hook it up to something like a precision instrument or whatever like that tests amplifier loads and whatnot. I wouldn't really worry about it if you're rocking Klipsch 8060 towers. Even if ultimately all channels driven, that amplifier is only putting out 35 or maybe 45 watts per channel, you're fine. You're going to be okay. If you can run an external amplifier, that's great. If your receiver has preamp outputs, my recommendation, if this is going to be your first go around with external amplifiers, don't go crazy. Maybe pick up an Emotiva Basics A3 or A5. It's going to run you maybe $399, $499, somewhere in there. That's where I would start. And I think that you might find that that's where you're going to start and you're going to end. So if there are any power concerns that you have with your Sony, if it has preamp outs, adding a Basics amplifier, you are getting the power that they are advertising. So if they advertise 100 watts, you're getting 100 watts. And then you got peace of mind, a separate amplifier, and your speakers are going to be golden. So thanks for the super chat.
Oh, and I just linked to the Basics that Andrew mentioned for you in the chat box. Drew, if you want to check that out.
Boxcar, gotcha. Got your back, buddy.
What happened?
Well, you can't see it on screen.
Oh.
Oh, hey, Caleb.
What?
How's it going? Where's my TV? Have you finally received the Sony X9? Not yours.
No.
Not yours. We are gonna be getting one though. They let us know that we're not gonna get your sloppy seconds. We're gonna get a fresh one. And
you guys,
it'll
digital trends. You guys, go subscribe.
Go support. They're almost at 1 million subs. Okay,
they really need your help.
Let's push them over the edge. They're slumming it. Okay, I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe if you put out better content, you'd already be at 1 million. But you keep phoning it in. So I'm gonna do what I can to help get you over the mark. My real influencer power, Caleb. Yeah. No, we love Caleb. He's good people. We are going to be getting the Sony X95K very soon. And from what I understand, our order is for the bigger one. What? Oh, man.
We love you, Caleb.
We love you. Harry, thank you so much. We really appreciate you watching in the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So David with the Technics came back with a super chat.
Oh.
And he has a question. I don't know if you can find it.
Yes, David Hildebrandt. I have Bowers & Wilkins 804 D3 in a larger room with a high ceiling, coming off a Technics R1000, thinking of moving up to Focal Canta 3 or Sopra 2. Thoughts on upgrading?
Why not go for the Utopias?
Don't listen to her. I mean, you can listen to her. They're great speakers. What's wrong with 804 D3s?
Well, that's what I was saying.
804 D3s? I mean, which ones do we have?
What? Shh.
Okay. One of my favorite speakers of all time is the Bowers & Wilkins 802 D2. That's the one I had and used as a personal reference. So 804 is the one down from that, and you're a generation newer than what I had. I don't know what differences were between D2 and D3, but I have to imagine that it still sounds just absolutely amazing with an R1000. If it doesn't, I don't know if Canta or Sopra are going to be the right move. I think they might be more of a sideways move. I might be with Kristi on this one and say, if you're gonna move, you're gonna have to go maybe
go big or go home.
You're gonna have to go big or go home, because I don't know if either of those speakers are really going to just completely be demonstrably different than what you already have, especially on a device like the R1000 that is kind of a jack of all trades integrated like that. So, but you got the right amp. You've got a Desert Island amplifier. So if you ever plug a speaker into it and go, man, this just is, it isn't the amp. It isn't the amp. That's all I'm going to say. Eric, thank you.
I have a non-super chat question because I want to try to sprinkle a few. G Papa 31, apologies if this has been covered. What platform would you recommend for high-res music if financially you were forced to only have one? Tidal, Qobuz, etc., etc.
Oh boy, you know, guys, I'm probably the wrong person to ask about high-res music, and the reason for that is so much of the music that I love and that I listen to a lot isn't available in high-res, and so a format never stops me from enjoying anything. I have always been Team Tidal, though admittedly I'm falling out of favor with them on a person, like for me, like I'm finding that I'm not getting the same experience that I feel like I used to, and that's probably because a lot of other services have caught up to what they used to own in terms of like the higher res streaming space. Qobuz is fine. Qobuz is great. Roon is great. I've used both. But at the end of the day, I don't lose a lot of sleep over the format, and I just try and enjoy the music, which is more than likely why 99% of my digital music streaming, I just use Apple Music, because we've got the whole family plan, and we've been playing with it so much that Steve Jobs knows exactly how to DJ my life from beyond the grave. So yeah, guys, I am so kind of phobic to the whole arguments about DACs and file formats and streaming, because it's a lot of noise, in my opinion, and a lot of hot air and the things that audiophiles get themselves all worked up over for honestly not that big of a difference in certain respects. So pick whatever service has the music you want to listen to and that you know you're going to listen to over and over and over again, and then pick the service that makes it as easy to get to as possible, then pay for it. That's my advice. Oh, man.
Steve Burke says, I have just purchased all new gear, receiver, amp, speakers, a 77-inch OLED TV, blah, blah, blah. Almost done setting up. Is there any other piece of gear you would consider a must-have for my home theater? Yes, a comfy couch.
Yeah, a really nice place to sit with preferably not too high of a back. There's a few videos roaming around right now where a bunch of audiophiles are talking about the chairs that they sit in, and these things are all like these high back chairs. And I'm just sitting here going, I mean, it's comfortable, but you're going to completely collapse your soundstage and definitely change the tone of everything you're listening to. And if you want a cool experiment, if you're wondering, does a high back chair change the sound of what you're listening to? Just start talking out loud and then do this. and listen to how the sound of your voice changes. Now go grab like the pillow you sleep in at night and just hold it up against your head. Compete and do the same thing. Listen to a song and just put the pillow behind you and then lower it and watch how everything changes. So get a comfy chair, preferably one that maybe cuts about right here in terms of, you know, back support. Or if you want something that has a full headrest and a recliner, understand that that is for comfort and that you are going to somewhat affect the sound of what you're hearing. Now, a way around this, if you have an AVR and you use Dirac or use Odyssey or whatever's built into the AVR, when you do the auto calibration, when you do the auto calibration, make sure that your mic is at ear level in front of that headrest, and the auto calibration will kind of address any shifts that may cause. But if you don't do that, if you're strictly 2-channel in that analog realm, get yourself a chair that kind of supports you up to here but doesn't cover your ears.
We have a very, very generous super chat from Casey Lai.
I see that. Hold on, let me turn my super chats back on.
Drinks on me. What are you and Kristi drinking right now?
Cheers. Water.
We're boring right now.
Water. It's 3:30. Had it been 4:30, I would have been like, it's a Union 5.
What's the whiskey we've been drinking? It's that Boxer guy.
Yeah, it's
Proper 12.
Proper 12. We've been drinking that a little bit lately.
Connor something.
Connor, the MMA guy.
As you can tell, I'm a huge fan.
We actually didn't know it was his brand. So for anyone that wants to try and come for me for supporting Conor McGregor, I had no clue it was his brand. It was just something that was on sale at our grocery store. And we picked it up one day and I was like, oh my God, this is really good. And I took a picture of it on Instagram and I tagged them, not knowing anything about them. And I got a DM from the company asking if they could share it and thanking us and all of that. And that got me to click over to their profile. And of course the profile's all Conor. And I honestly, I don't know anything about the dude. I don't watch MMA. But sharing that whiskey, a lot of you told me what time it was and let me know that he's either an awesome dude, he's your favorite, or harm
would come to you,
would come to me for supporting him. So I think it's a good drink. I honestly don't think he's the one making it himself, like in his kitchen.
Come on now. I have it on good authority.
Yeah, he's building the barrels himself from Master Oh,
you didn't.
I didn't. Anyway, but that's what we've been drinking, and it is good. Say what you want about the man. Whatever company he bought, he did well.
It's good. But when you're not drinking that, your typical drink of choice is either a sidecar or a
martini
or an old fashioned.
Yeah.
I love vodka.
There's a shirt. I love ... vodka.
Usually with soda and lemon. I'm simple. We got a super chat from Hector.
Hold on. There was a super chat here from David, who was after KC. I'm adding Dolby Atmos in-ceiling speakers. Should I go at 6.5 or 8 looking at Klipsch? Honestly, I have not heard much of a difference between 6.5 and 8-inch when it comes to surround speakers. They're probably going to get crossed over inside your AVR at exactly the same point, which is somewhere to say between 60 and 100 hertz. Both speakers will be capable of outputting that. So why not give yourself the smaller visual footprint and smaller hole in your ceiling and go with the 6.5, because that's what we ultimately did. And I have zero hesitation in recommending that and zero regrets.
Okay. Hector Villarreal, have you found it?
Hector, hold on guys. Gonna be there. Well, is it lately? Okay, we've answered this one.
No, you haven't.
What do you think about the Sony A7000 soundbar?
No, that's not.
That's not it.
That's not. That name does not read Hector. If you
I know it doesn't read Hector. I'm not seeing a Hector.
Okay, well I have it queued up.
Go
of
ahead.
course, I can't put it on the screen, so apologies.
Oh, here it is.
Hey, Andrew and Kristi. I have a Denon X2200W. What did you just say?
We're so good at this.
I know we are. We are the masters. 5.1.2 or dot 2.
Oh my God.
I know that's a big contention for a lot of people.
You all need to go get it. You all need to have a meeting. You all need to have a meeting and decide if it's dot or point, and then let me know, because I can't anymore. Either you guys are mad at me for saying dot or point, or the manufacturers get mad at me for saying dot or point. So everyone get on the same page.
Yeah. Anyway, a 5.1.2 setup with Bowers & Wilkins 600 series.
Okay.
Looking at the Marantz 6015 or 7015, is a 7015 worth the extra money? That's not the one we have, is it?
No, we have the
8015,
so he's the one right below it. Is there something wrong? And I know you can't answer me in real time, so I apologize, but is there something wrong with your 2200? Like, what is it that you feel the need to upgrade? Because if the answer is, I want to go Marantz because I hear it has a softer, warmer sound for my B&Ws, I would say try the tone controls on your Denon first. Maybe go in and grab that treble slider or bass slider, whatever you're trying to accomplish, and play with that first before potentially spending thousands of dollars to try a whole new receiver. And the only reason I say that is because it's no secret Denon and Marantz are owned by the same parent company. So it stands to reason that there may be quite a bit of tech shared between the two brands. So will you achieve demonstrably different sound? I wouldn't call it night and day. They definitely do have similarities. There are some differences, but there are similarities as well. So if you are trying or thinking about upgrading your AVR to affect the sound of your speakers, mess around with the AVR you have now just a little bit more with the tone controls. If you feel like you've exhausted that, in my opinion, going all out on whatever Marantz has within your budget is worth it. That's all I can say. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, hold on. The cheese. Just wanted to say thank you for your La Scala review. I scoured the used market and built my home theater around 2 K horns and a La Scala as a center channel.
Well, first of all, the cheese also did a super chat with no question.
Oh, well.
So you just
I mean, I just saw this. I'm like, what? La Scala as a center channel?
Dude.
Is your room the Disney concert hall? Like, wow. What? I would love to see that. If you're on Instagram, do you mind taking a picture of that and either tagging @RecoveringAudiophile in the picture or DMing it to me through Instagram? I would really like to see that. Wow. Wow.
Bert Ferguson, super chat, thank you. Whiskey snob here, LOL. Proper 12 is basically Bushmills. In my opinion, you should try Slane Irish whiskey. Same price.
Have that.
Don't like it. Is that the stuff?
That's the stuff. I have that. I bought that because I was going to go on a little journey because Proper 12 got me thinking about the Highlands, you know? And so I was going to go on a little drink journey. And so the next time I was at the grocery store, I grabbed that. It is the same price, and I disagree. It is not as smooth. Proper 12 has Lagavulin vibes, and
totally
it has that peatiness to it that I love about Lagavulin. But frankly, while I will buy the occasional bottle of Lagavulin, it's not something that I can daily drink. I would be living in a box or a van down by the river if I did. But Proper 12 has that earthiness to it, and the other one, it doesn't. The other one hits a little bit more like an American whiskey, and I guess maybe that's not what I'm looking for in a Scotch. That's all.
But thank you for the super chat.
But thank you.
Damn Jay, do you see that one? It's yellow or gold.
Let's see here. Dan, hold on. Oh, I see him. Me again. Now rocking a Sonos Arc 5.1 system. Want to go to 2.0 thanks to you. We'll use a Blue Sound Power Node. Any recommendations for really good bookshelves that can be placed directly at a wall? Sonos Faber Lumina 2s. They're down/forward ported. They work great on a bookshelf. They're relatively small. If you need something that's even smaller, try the Lumina 1s, but the Lumina 2s, chef's kiss, $1,000 a pair, arguably one of the best obtainable bookshelf speakers that can work close to a wall on the market right now. This was not a super chat, but as I was scrolling to find that question, someone took me to task about my chair comments, and I see you. I see you, and I'm going to raise you an explanation as soon as I find your question. Oh no. Oh, here it is. Victor, didn't you do a video with the Eames lounge chair at one time? I never did a video about the Eames lounge chair, but I did own an Eames lounge chair, and I never listened to music in it. It was just my relaxing, reading, flipping through books chairs, because it affects the sound of what you're hearing. If you have an original, there's two different types of Eames chairs. The original one, the headrest does not typically, if you sit in it, straight up, you don't lounge in it. The headrest will kind of hit you about right here. And so we had the lower profile one, and the headrest will hit you about here. But the new ones, including those that are from Herman Miller, come in a tall version. And that tall version is designed to fully support your head. And a lot of people are buying the tall version for obvious reasons, because it is the more comfortable chair. But that one is actually the one that's going to have the bigger impact. But my Eames chair, which did not make the move to our new house because I'm going to be buying another one, a different one in a different finish, was never a listening chair. It was always a off to the side, comfy, relaxing.
It was a prop
nap chair, and it ultimately got relegated largely to prop status because the footrest that really allows you to lounge in it arrived completely busted.
It wasn't a real Eames chair.
It was a knockoff. It was a knockoff, and that's one of the problems with when you buy a knockoff is sometimes it can knock right off.
We have a super chat from Angel Gonzalez.
Okay, let me scroll down and find Angel.
It's green.
It's green. Okay. Whiskey snob. Here you go. Angel, bookshelf speaker recommendations around $1,000 USD. Selling my 606 S2 since I miss mid-range. I know, right? Bought the B&Ws because of an insane deal. Wonder why. Well, okay. Bookshelf speaker recommendations around $1,000 a pair. Because you said you value mid-range, I would look, and I know they're not brand new. But they may actually save you some money if I don't currently know what their market value or market price is right now. Revel M16 bookshelves, they are rear ported. Don't know if that matters to you, but you definitely can score a pair under $1,000. There is always the Polk R200s, again rear ported, but definitely got the mid-range. Sonos Faber Lumina 2s, they're $1,100, but forgive me. But again, pretty good mid-range, although they do have a little bit of a boost in the bass and they have a boost in the treble. So maybe you might feel that they're lean in the mid-range, even though they're not sucked out. It's just that there is that little bit of boost on both ends. But again, fabulous. And then there's another pair of speakers that are phenomenal in the mid-range, but that review doesn't come out for another week, so I don't want to spoil it.
Really quickly, Pierre OC has a pretty good question for products that you don't want to review and link, but do want to share your thoughts. Like, as an example, the new Sony XM5 headphones. Have you considered doing YouTube shorts?
We have made a few shorts actually. We made our shorts back when they had just announced it, and we did I think about 4 or 5 of them because I just wanted to see what they were doing. Now, and full disclosure, when shorts were launched, YouTube really didn't know what to do with them, and so as a result, making shorts really hurt your channel. And so we did them very early and almost immediately stopped because they were actually damaging our numbers and causing our content not to go out to as many of you. Now, it is my understanding that YouTube has fixed this problem and is now trying to reinvigorate and kind of get people to do shorts. I don't believe that I'm going to be doing that. Nothing against anyone that makes shorts, nothing against the format in general. It's just I only have so much time in any given day, and to do the 2 videos a week that we do now, my time is stretched so thin that you guys know me. I don't want to put something out there that isn't of a certain standard. And I know that kind of goes against shorts in general. It's supposed to be kind of a fun thing, kind of like maybe this live stream where it's a little bit off the cuff.
But we we have talked about is for things like that that may not warrant a video type of a review. We have considered doing a written review
and putting it
on the website.
Yeah.
So just kind of, maybe keep an eye out there, or if you make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are turned on, because if we were to do something like that, we'll definitely notify you through the community section and direct you to the website. If, like, for example, because we do have the Sony
We do
headphones.
have the Sony headphones, and admittedly, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with them. I will say I love the slight design changes, and I find them to be a little bit more comfortable.
I don't.
She doesn't. I think that they feel a little bit better to me. I definitely like the little bit more streamlined look. Sound-wise, I have not fully been able to tailor them to the same extent that my XM4s are just already set up in. So I can't say which one I prefer. I do recall having an easier time with the XM4s than the 5s, but that's about it. You're back. Oh no, we already did. Sorry, I need to catch up here. Let's see.
You already did that.
I know one. I did. I know.
You can throw up improved garages. Super chat. It's just a recommendation for a distillery in San Luis Obispo.
Oh.
SLO Stills. They make a pre-made old fashioned. That's awesome. It's around $35 a fifth.
Okay.
Thanks for the suggestion.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's see.
MJ asked, have you guys listened to the Polk Audio Legend L800s? What are your thoughts on them? This isn't a super chat, by the way, so don't go looking for it.
We reviewed it.
Oh, I know. What are your thoughts on them for 2-channel music? Those were a huge pain in the rear.
Yeah, those are very tricky. When you get them right, admittedly, they can sound pretty awesome, but it is very hit or miss. That is a very inconsistent speaker, in my opinion.
And now that the Reserve series is out, I think it's a waste of money to go with the Legend. That's just my
I would kind of agree. I know that I believe the L800s are being discounted. I'm not saying discontinued, but I do think that they've been discounted, and even then I would still probably go R700. Just me.
Royce Matthew, thank you for the super chat.
Tim, thank you. Allah, thank you. Joe, speaking of Lumina 2s, would an Integra AVR be enough to power them well? I want to put them in my living room, but I also need them to be my TV system, so I need the HDMI ports. I think, yeah, when our Integra receiver review, we used our Lumina 2s. We have Lumina 2s, and we have the matching Lumina Center. That's one of our reference get-ups. We've put those on every AVR that's come through this house.
Yeah, there's nothing.
You're fine.
You'll have no trouble.
You're totally fine. Brian L. Our setup. Sony 1080. Nice. SVS. Cool. Klipsch 500C. Klipsch 500M. Okay. Your comment if needed to upgrade. RZ50, a new subwoofer, or towers. Honestly, dude, I would go RZ50 so that you had Dirac. because you have an SVS sub already, jumping up to the towers off of the 500Ms, negligible difference, honestly, but Dirac as a room correction piece of software is demonstrably better than what you're going to get with the Sony system inside the 1080. So if you're like, man, I have the itch and I have to do it, the upgrade here is the RZ50.
Billy Kong has a super chat.
Okay.
Did you find it?
I see it.
He says, my last question had you telling me you hated DAX. I ended up with the Geshell J2.
Geshelli.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, you're
Geshelli.
right. And I love it. Have you ever heard of it? Running Audio Lab 6000N to a J2 Emotiva PT1 and a Basex A2 clips with RP 8000 towers, three subs. Is that what that's supposed to say?
Three R120 subs. So you are all about that bass. Last question. Ended up with the Geshelli and love it. Have you ever heard it? I have not. I have not heard it. I think maybe we were approached by them, by the brand or one of their reps to potentially review it. And at the time, I think there were no fewer than 5 or 6 different channels literally talking about the Geshelli Lab DAX, or maybe it was Denafrips, one of those two. Yeah, we had a DAC sent to us, very high end. We ultimately didn't review it. I think I photographed it.
Which one?
Was it the Auralic? No, it wasn't the Auralic. Was it Auralic? I don't know. The thing was like $7,000. This was about a year and a half ago at this point. And it was fine. It was great. It sounded good. But when I A/B'd it with the DAC Magic that we had at the time, I mean,
there wasn't enough of a
there
difference.
wasn't enough of a difference to go from $499 to $7,000. So that's when I really started to like, because I was thinking about having like a whole category of DACs, because we had an SMSL, I had the DAC Magic, we had this thing, we had another preamp DAC from Technics, and when just trying to focus on the DAC's performance, because so often a lot of these DACs are also preamps or they're also streamers. So it becomes really difficult to determine if you are responding to the DAC, truly responding to the DAC, or are you responding to the preamp section that's in front of the DAC. And a lot of times I see people that are like, hey, you know, this DAC is great. And it's like, well, what is it you're actually responding to? Because if you're using it as a preamp DAC or a streamer DAC, it's possible you're reacting to the sum or the whole, not just one specific thing. And that was tricky. Like, how do you test that? And then once I distilled it down to what I believed I was hearing with the DAC, there just was never that night and day difference in jumping from $200 to $500 all the way up to like these $7,000 and $8,000 DACs. And that's when I pretty much decided for myself, like, I'm not going down this rabbit hole. And I get why every brand is making DACs like they can't stop. It's an easy sell. It's an easy sell because they're based on numbers. And the higher the number, the more formats they support, obviously, the better the DAC has to be. The reality is a lot of this capability is built into half the products you already own. So yeah, that's how I kind of feel about DACs. Oh, I'm just going to grab this one real quick. It's not a super chat, but it was below Billy's question. What are your thoughts on Zoo Audio's Omen Dirty Weekends and an amp to pair with it? I love the concept of building speakers from the scraps of other speakers as a way of not to be wasteful. I think that's absolutely awesome. Zoo audio speakers, much like Tecton speakers, tend to respond very well to tube electronics. I know I always loved my Zoo Omen Defs on Deckwear gear, so that's where I would steer you. Sean, you sent your XM5s back too fiddly to get to. Thank you. So I'm not alone. It's not the fit that's bothering me. It's the fact that just dialing them in, it seemed to be very intuitive with the XM4, and I don't understand why it's not as intuitive. They use the same app, but I am having a little bit more, I am struggle busing a little bit more to get the XM5s where I want them. Chris, okay, we can't see his question, but he asked La Jolla what changed. People. The last time I was in La Jolla, man, that place was like a little secret on the beach. And now it's been built up. It's been built up. It's busier than San Diego in some instances. It's still beautiful. It's still beautiful, but the last time I was there, I guess it's been a little bit longer than I thought, because I remember it being quaint and quiet, and it was traffic city.
Eric Kessler has a super chat question. It's orange. Have you found it?
Eric Kessler.
Eric Kessler.
I guess I have to go back up. There he is.
Such enjoyable content. Thank you. Mm-hmm. With my RZ50 and Emotiva Base X3, the R700s from Polk, would you recommend, in addition to my 4 6.5-inch Atmos ceilings, do you
recommend my surrounds be in ceilings or in wall or bookshelf?
In ceiling.
Well, look, if you go by Dolby standards in how to set up a surround sound system, your surrounds and back channels should be either wall mounted or on appropriately high stands. That all said, I would go with in walls at the appropriate height, because who wants to be walking around speakers on stands if you can help it? And if in walls aren't possible, I'm here to tell you, with the kind of 15 to 35 degree downward firing in ceiling speakers, those angled ones, it is possible to do a proper Dolby setup within ceiling. So I guess that's not really maybe the answer you're looking for. But if it were me, I would do in walls, on wall, in wall, or in ceiling before I grabbed some stands and did bookshelves when it comes to the surrounds and the back channels.
I have a really great super chat question.
Okay.
From Babisha Chandra.
Yes. All right.
I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Has it made it easier for you to acquire gear for reviews due to your popularity? I hope you can collab with car tech furniture channels and make audiophile even more mainstream. Love you guys. First of all, thank you. I think, well, I know Andrew probably has things to say, but since I'm the one that typically
has to go talk to people,
yes,
to book the gear,
which I hate doing. I don't like talking to people so much.
She really doesn't.
Don't even ask me to get on the phone, because it's not going to happen. Anyway, to me, I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. Has it made it easier in some instances? Yes, but it's not as automatic as I think many people would believe.
Yeah.
We still have to knock on doors, you know, proverbially, to try and get products sent to us. A lot of times companies will see other smaller creators come out with new product reviews, and we'll Andrew and I will talk and be like, well, I wonder why they didn't reach out to us, and like, because we didn't even get an email. Yeah. Which always surprises me. Nothing against smaller creators.
No,
but
it's just
from a marketing
standpoint, yeah.
You know, somebody that has a marketing and an advertising background, I would probably go out after the biggest fish if I could. Yeah. But I think a lot of people think that getting a review from us comes at a price, and it doesn't, because for whatever reason, whether it be rumors or just false assumptions, yeah, brands and viewers often think that we get paid for our reviews, and we don't.
Yeah, we never have.
Never once.
Never once. It's never happened. People have offered to pay us for reviews, and we say you can pay for shipping to send it, and then pay for the shipping to get it back to you, but we cannot accept any money for reviews. And that's been our policy since day one.
Yeah, you would be surprised the number of people that do sometimes the emails I do get, and they're like, just this is the thing we have. We're interested in having you review it. Just let us know what your rate is. Like, they throw that out there, and I always write like, no, we don't do that. And if that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry, we have to
go somewhere else.
But it is not an automatic thing.
No, and I think there's more to it. I mean, I think partially, yes, there's this misconception out there that, it's going to cost them money. It doesn't. But I also think the other problem is that we might be a little risky. And I only say this because it has been communicated to me by brands or their representatives, where the risk of us maybe being lukewarm or not so positive on a product could potentially be damaging to a new product launch. And because we never, and I mean this, we never share our videos or our findings with manufacturers beforehand. They do not get to see our videos before you guys. So, and they hate that, by the way. They really don't like to be surprised. And don't
you think that's maybe that expectation or desire is a holdover from the print days when where an article would be passed down to the manufacturer and they would get to review it and
either weigh in with like the editors or not editors, manufacturers comment or things like that. And we just don't do that.
Not to say that if we have a problem with a unit that we will reach out to a manufacturer and either say, hey, I think that there may be something wrong with this, or do you have a comment, like we've come across XYZ. But that's pretty much the extent of the communication that happens once the product arrives into our possession.
Yeah, whenever possible, we even turn down like the whole, hey, you want to jump on like a Zoom call and let us walk you through it. We even turn that down 99 times out of 100. There are some brands that flat out will not put the product in the mail
Lynbrook
unless I sit through a Zoom call for 90 minutes, which I can't stand. And every time I'm on one of those, I hammer them and go, hey, do you do this with every customer? Because if the answer is no, I need to get off this call, because I never want to experience anything different in terms of the ownership experience than what you guys have. And so unless a rep or we don't let dealers come in here and set anything up, never. And there's been some products that we can't be sent because they want a dealer to come in here, or a rep or the manufacturer themselves to come in here, and they're like, we want to set them up in your room and we want to do some listening with you, to kind of like, and it's like, no. Are you doing that with everybody? And if their answer is no, then no, you're not welcome to come in here. It's not personal. We just don't want our review to come from a place that you guys aren't most likely to also experience. As to go back to real quick, to get back to like the difficulty in getting stuff, I think there's a bit of hesitation because if we don't like something, we're not ashamed or not shy about posting a negative review, which they have let us know can be damaging. And I just think that gives people pause. But we've also told people like, hey, this is something that you guys, the viewers, you're really requesting that we talk about this product. You're now hesitant to send it to us. We're going to just go buy it. So we always get to it at some point eventually, hopefully. But yeah, it's you would think, I know I thought that like, hey, if we just get big enough and keep getting bigger and have the numbers and the viewers and the interaction and the time on site, like we'll be able to get anything. And that's just, that's not the case. We've had to buy more gear this year than ever.
I mean, we've had brands or reps of brands say, well, we already got the review we wanted for that product.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys wouldn't believe some of the stuff that people admit to, but it can be easy to get stuff, and then oftentimes it's not. Wilson Audio won't send us anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's like I said, it's not an automatic. I don't know. I think we'd have to get to like Linus Tech Tips level before we could just not expect to get any sort of runaround.
And even then, and hearing some of their stories, they still get, you know, raked over the coals sometimes. So anyway, thank you for your super chat. I hope we answered your question. DP Roberts, last time you explained why amplifiers have a sound. Later you said an amp sounded too perfect and like a computer singing to me. Is that intentional distortion? Just trying to understand. In theory or in practice, an amplifier should only amplify the signal coming to it. And so a perfect amp is one that you never hear. Oftentimes, at least on this channel, when I am commenting on an amplifier, that amplifier exists within the scope of an integrated amplifier, which means it has DACs inside, preamps inside. It has more than just the amplifier, which is why it makes it maybe potentially more difficult to understand like what anyone may be talking about with respect to an amplifier's sound, because inevitably when you're reviewing an integrated amplifier, you're reviewing the whole, and it is possible for an integrated amplifier to have a sound because it has DACs and preamps and all of these other things that can be also used to impact what it is that you're hearing. And so like the one that I think I referred to as like a computer singing to me, the M33 comes to mind, like the NAD, the distortion throughout that system is so insanely low. That is such a clean, silent, dare I say, clinical amplifier that I will admit it's arguably perfect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the M33. I just don't happen to like the fact that it's perfect. There's something weird about it when I listen to it, that it is not engaging me. It is impressing me, but it is not engaging me. And I understand that that is 100% subjective and likely down to how my brain processes the sound waves going into my ear canal. But that is an amplifier that top to bottom, from the DAC to the preamp to the amplifier section itself on out to the speakers, it is arguably perfect. Now, Technics R1000, again, another amplifier that I would classify as arguably perfect. However, there is some voicing in there. Despite anything that goes into that amp getting changed to the quote digital realm and remaining there, and all kind of inputs into the R1000 being treated equally, because the amp is going to convert everything to one consistent signal. They are still doing something in there. And even if you look at the white papers of the R1000 compared to the M33, you're going to find that the distortion figures of the R1000, despite being twice the price, are not as good as the M33. Well, that's because they are trying to affect the sound. They are trying to inject a little something. And so that's what I mean, is you can intentionally do this. Now, an amplifier itself, take for instance our reviews of the Emotiva Basics monos to the HTR, or I don't think they were called the HTR, whatever, the more expensive monos. So you had a $399 or $400 mono compared to an $800-900 mono. The only difference really in sound, apart from maybe a 1 or 2% difference that may be audible because one's Class AB, one is Class H, was the presence of more power seem to exhibit the sensation of more control over the bass. And when that sensation is, when the bass is more controlled, it has an effect on the focus of a soundstage, on the focus of dynamics, and thus makes you believe that you are listening to something that is better, cleaner, more powerful. While on paper, yes, it is more powerful, it's not necessarily doing anything different to the sound. You're just getting just a little bit more control because of that more power. But in terms of the amplifier just amplifying the signal, those two are kind of on the same page. They're equal. So yeah, amplifiers get really, really tricky. Really, really tricky. And a lot of times if people are starting to comment on an amplifier's sound and it's not like an old tube amplifier with distortion and things like that, a lot of times what they're describing to you is everything that came in front of it. And I've been guilty of this in the past, and that's why I'm really trying hard, you know, since starting this channel to really drill down and be like, what are we talking about specifically?
Can you find Bill Archer's?
Bill Archer.
You might see two. The first one did not have a question, but then the second one did. And
got it.
Real quick, David Hildebrand, I answered your Blue Sound question in the chat box.
Okay. Bill Archer, great channel. Just recently upgraded to an RCAM S8. Oh, Bill got the RCAM. Bill got it.
That's where our RCAM went.
I'm finding my AMT and my Wharfdale Evo to be a little too much. Looking for a good soft dome. Would you go Evoke 10 or Linton's? Small room? Small room. Ooh.
I would go with the Lintons, but
I would too. I would too. You might even be able to get away with the Denton 85s. If you got a small room, you may be able to get away with the
Dentons.
But if he's trying to get a softer sound,
he would probably like.
You might like the Denton 85s.
You might like the Evokes, but I don't know.
He has the Evokes,
no, he has the Wharfdale Evos. He's talking about. I'm assuming Evoke is the Dyne Audio.
Oh, right. Yeah, thanks. Well, I'll say this. The Evokes were a bit bass heavy and they needed to be pulled out from the wall to even that out. To kind of, they're very much a rich, deep speaker that's really great. But they needed some room to breathe. Whereas the Lintons or maybe even the Denton 85s, not quite as finicky. Maybe try either one of those. The Denton 85s, they're going to save you some money, and if you're in a small room, they may be all that you need.
Daniel Hi-Fi says, Kristi, I offered you Quad, RCAM, Paradigm Totem, and Triangle products to review. I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. If you're a retailer and you contacted us, I might have missed your email. If you're a just regular person, we don't take personal units that belong to viewers for liability reasons. So I don't recall exactly which camp you're falling into. We have been offered on occasion, viewers will say, hey, I'll send you something that you're having a hard time getting. And we always really do appreciate the offer.
Oh, it's so kind.
Anything could happen in shipping, getting it here or there. It's something could go wrong. And then, here's the other thing. What if we don't like that thing that you love and that you've sent us?
And you've already paid for it.
That you've already paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to have to break that to you. So if we can't get it through a brand, through the brand or the manufacturer, or by maybe going through a retailer, we just can't get it unless we buy it ourselves. And we have to be really picky about those things.
Chris, thank you. Almost through your first desert summer. Think your husky needs a pool. Yeah. And her daddy and mommy need a pool. And we're actually speaking to some people about that. Do you have a new reference amp in your permanent collection? No comment.
You're such a tease.
I am. Okay, Kyle, can you go into more detail about your thoughts on Zoo Audio? How do you dispose of all the extra gear once you have reviewed it? Do you have a super secret bat cave? Okay, first question. I can't really go into more detail about Zoo Audio because I haven't had much of a relationship with them since I did the Omen Def review back in like 2013 when that speaker was launched. They were very kind. I think they're cool dudes. I always love running into them at shows. I think they make a great product, but admittedly, I am not the most well versed on the entirety of their product line. But they've always seemed to have a little bit of a cult following. Their origins are similar to that of Tecton. I have both parties came from the same company at one point. Not to say that you're going to get the same speaker with Tecton as you will with Zoo or vice versa. I love the woodwork of Zoo speakers. I think they're very, very fun. They're an alternative to Klipsch Heritage, in my opinion, and I just think they sound superb with tube gear. How do you dispose of all the extra gear once you have reviewed it? We call the manufacturer and we send it back to them. We don't keep gear. We don't keep gear unless there is a burning need for us to do so to extend the loan period. Otherwise, yeah.
Or if we just can't get them to pick it up.
Or if we can't get them to pick it up. Sometimes, you know, for example, you'll do a soundbar review of a soundbar that costs like $400 retail. And they'll send it to us for a review. We do the review, and then we call them up, and it's like, hey, you know, come get your soundbar. And they're like, we don't want to pay for shipping. And then, you know, my brother ends up with a new soundbar. And then as for a Bat Cave, yes, we are scheduled out weeks, if not months in advance. So yeah, we do have an entire, call it quarter of stuff in the works. And so yeah, we have a super secret, top secret location for that kind of stuff that we pull from.
Sigmund Judge, did you see his super chat? It's from a while back.
Sigmund.
I think we missed it.
Chris. Okay, hold on.
It's near Bill Archer's.
It's near Bill. Bill was like,
yeah, I know,
last week. David Hildebrand.
I'm sure Sigmund's had a birthday at this point.
Sigmund. There it is. Love you both. We love that you were patient. Trinov offers Atmos Visualizer in their Amplitude processors. Any cost-effective alternative software to see the same real-time info? Real-time? I got nothing. Not real-time. I mean, run a sweep and see a graph? You can do that on RumiQ Wizard. But if you want to like see the graph in real time, I can't think of anything. What?
Tom Parker said, help, can't decide on whether to get the Sony Discman or the yellow waterproof Walkman, or to save and get the Watchman TV.
You remember back in the day when those were like legit? You're like, yeah, which one of these totally awesome, mind-blowing, pocketable products? It was such a simpler time. Oh man.
Is it though? It's not a simpler time. You cannot get more simple than streaming.
Watch audio files make it difficult. I didn't think it could get any simpler than just hitting play and enjoying, or dropping a needle and hitting, you know, enjoying your record. Audio files were like, this is my beer and I would like you to hold it. Me again. Will you have a look at Amphion speakers? Probably not.
I answered him in the
comments.
The chat.
Yeah,
guys.
They're one of the brands that
would not. They were kind enough to reply to me. Mm-hmm. So that was applause for that. They wanted to then know what are you running, meaning what is this? What is
nothing? Oh. Just answering a question.
They wanted to know what gear we had, to which I responded, mm-hmm. and then it was crickets. So either
we're not cool enough.
Someone died, or
no,
we don't have the right gear.
We're just not audiophile grade enough for them.
Mike Frost says you missed mine as well. Can you hit the little button, the
disclaimer?
Thing? Yeah. We sincerely apologize. I will try to go back and find your chat, mm-hmm. If it's a super chat. We do take super chat questions in priority because they are giving money, and so it would be hard not to.
Yes.
We do try and take other non-super chat questions. As we said at the beginning of the stream, if we miss your super chat, we're sorry. It's not intentional or personal. We may come back to it later, or if nothing else, I promise you I will answer it in the comments, so you can come back in, let's say 24 to 48 hours. But it is our anniversary, so give me an extra day or two.
Yeah.
Or, it may be Monday, but I will get to your question, because I get the luxury of going back and scrubbing everything and making sure that we answer everyone. So anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. Separates or integrated? I personally am an integrated person. I like them. I just like the simplicity and the cleanliness of fewer cables. And I think that integrateds have just come so far over the years that they absolutely can match the performance of separates. I'm showing, hi Andrew and Kristi, love your channel. Would love to see more down to earth, maybe even rapid fire videos, more budget focused gear. Do you have something like this planned for the future? I guess the most rapid fire way of doing it is kind of in live streams like this, perhaps. I don't know if you've noticed in the last couple of videos, or we have done a few videos where we kind of compare a product to other products in the line. We did this with the Klipsch Heritage when we did our La Scala, Cornwall. We did this with the Rotel amps when we did the Michi. We're about to do it with another brand here in a little over a week. I'm enjoying those when we kind of get one of everything from the line. It enables us to really kind of dive in and let you guys know what to expect as you shop within a certain brand. I want to do more of those. As far as like rapid fire 90-second review, do five or six products in one video. Nothing in the works, but that's not to say that we wouldn't do something like that in the future. Just nothing planned right now.
Oh, Mike Frost, I found your super chat. Thank you so much. There wasn't a question attached to it, so
well, thank you anyway.
But thank you. I am going. Wait, did you answer this one? I'm going in way back in the time machine to Mark Simonovic. Hello from Melbourne, Australia. Any plans on doing $5 fines in the future? You might need to do $20 fines. You guys are awesome. Love your channel.
I really want to revisit that series. We were talking about that series as recently as 2 evenings ago. I just want to do it. I want to do it big. It's one of my goals, not for this year, but for next year. It is. I hold me to it. I want to at least do one just totally awesome episode of $5 fines next year, and I want it to be awesome and amazing and big. That's all I'll say. By the way, Eugene. By the way, still looking for an Arylic style stereo amp with EARC. Aren't we all? Why are they so allergic? I'm not saying Arylic. I'm just saying why. Why are audio companies so allergic to HDMI? It's everywhere. And it's like the one connection people want. You say what you want, like, oh, it's buggy or it's more headaches. I get it. I connect hundreds of HDMI components every week. I still want it in everything, and nothing makes me angrier than when I'm like, oh, cool, new integrated, 2022 manufactured, brand new, set it down, grab my HDMI cable, and it's like, it doesn't have an HDMI port? Are you kidding me? Come on, how much is this thing? Oh, it's expensive too? You couldn't pop for the 15-cent port? Let's go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Nick, let them know. Let them know. Oh man. Oh, here you go. There you go, Kristi. Read your screen.
579 people in the chat and only... Oh, sorry. I'm delayed on here. Yeah. Kristi is the beautiful behind-the-scenes brains controlling everything in sincerely super sweet magical way. Could you do a zoo audio review? Oh my god. What were we talking? What happened earlier? When
Oh, I collabed with Nick at Movie AV Impulse. If you haven't seen, I did a video with Movie AV Impulse yesterday where we were talking about the top five Michael Bay films. And in my portion of the video, I was trying to remember that Bad Boys. I knew that it was Bad Boys 1 was originally written for Dana Carvey and John Lovitz, except in the moment, I completely forgot and spaced on John Lovitz's name. And so Kristi, being Kristi, she's always mic'd. You know, she looked it up on her phone while I was doing the video, and she chimed in. It was John Lovitz. And I was like, that's the name. That's the name. I couldn't remember it. And Nick was very gracious, and he was writing us back, and
well, no, he gave me a shout out.
Or he gave her a shout out
in the
video, and then in the comments, thanking her for filming my portion of the video. And
basically, this channel would not be possible without me. So many people think that I do more than I do. To be honest, I appreciate it because it makes Andrew furious.
It doesn't make me furious.
Well, it irritates him a little bit at the credit that I get undeservingly.
You deserve okay. Let me clear the air. She deserves a lot of credit, but for some reason, since like the day we started this channel, I don't know how this got out there or what makes the audience think this, but maybe it's because publicly we've stated that she's wedding photography was her business for so long, but so many of you think that she shoots all of the videos and she doesn't. And
I'll let y'all believe it.
There are so many people every week that are like, and Kristi's B-roll is amazing, and I'm like, she didn't.
I didn't shoot that shit. But thank you.
She didn't shoot any of it. She never shoots any of it.
You worked so hard. I give all the credit.
Sorry if your headphones are clipping.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, I'm gonna pull it together. Yeah. Somebody gave us $100 super chat for our anniversary.
Oh, thank you,
Trevor.
Thank you.
You gotta throw that up there because that's big time.
All right, hold on. I gotta Trevor.
It's red.
Thank you.
Tito's and Lagavulin money.
Yeah,
that's right.
It is our. We're bad at math.
Third?
It's our third. It's our 3-year anniversary on Saturday.
It feels like I've known you my whole life, though.
Yeah. It's 3 years married.
Mm-hmm.
6 years together.
Since 2017.
2017. Yeah. So.
Whatever the math is on that.
5 years together then, because it's 2022, right? Yeah. Time has no meaning. But 3 years married. And it's the Eddie V's anniversary. We're so lame. But there was an Eddie V's by the house in Austin. And so whenever we wanted to be a little bit fancy but didn't really want to worry or work that hard.
We wanted to be the youngest people in the bar. We wanted
to be the youngest people. We would just go eat at the bar at Eddie V's.
Amazing.
And, we didn't do it all the time. I mean, Eddie V's isn't that cheap, but we did it enough that we were kind of regulars. Come to find out, in our new neighborhood, no Eddie V's. So we're not traveling for the purposes of Eddie V's. We're traveling to kind of have a long. We're traveling to have a long weekend away at a house with a pool.
So excited!
But then we're having Eddie V's. We're going to eat at the bar, like a couple of
amazing
people. Yeah.
Anyway, best decision I ever made was marrying you, sweetheart.
Mine too. So, and Katie, whose butt is now in the shot. Okay. Thanks, Katie, for hawking a loogie on my foot.
She likes to make noises.
All right, let's go back here. Thanks for the reply on the amps. Looking Looking for a receiver amp for monitor audio silver bookshelf speakers. You mentioned Marantz. How would you compare with the unsighted audio lab? Well, I'll put it to you this way. If you have the Audiolab 6000A Play already, the good news is that if you get a Marantz with preamp outputs, you can run the 6000A Play in pure amp mode and still enjoy their sound, while a sound of that amplifier, while allowing the Marantz to allow you to expand your system into a home theater. So that's a kind of a big plus. If you are trying to decide to, between the two, the Marantz is the most like Audiolab in my opinion. The Marantz just, their sound is working for me lately. I mean, we have the 8015, I've got the 40N, and both of those I consider to be just phenomenal products. They're not going anywhere. I love them to death. So yeah, if you haven't gotten an Audiolab and you're thinking monitor audio for home theater, get a Marantz. I think you're going to be pretty happy. Alex is next. Is it possible to have room correction along the lines of Dirac that offers correction for multi-zone, multi-rooms that are playing the same source at the same time? Not that I'm aware of, but I also wonder what would be the benefit of running Dirac in a different room so that you had Dirac corrected sound simultaneously. I mean, you can't be in two places at once. So I know with respect to like Marantz, I know they don't have Dirac, but you can do this on the Onkyo too. I know that you can set presets, and so you could have like your living room be preset 1, then run Dirac on, say, zone. Can you run Dirac on zone 2? I've never even tried it. We don't run multiple zones out of a receiver. I've never even demoed it. If you could, then in theory, I guess you could run Dirac on a zone 2, make that preset 2. That is a question for Onkyo tech support. I would reach out to them. Yeah, I don't know of any.
Harry Muskie has a
I'm sorry, what?
Harry Muskie has a question.
It's
not a super chat.
Just throwing it in, guys?
Yes. How do you fund all of this?
How do we fund all of this? Okay. So we're of the size now in terms of channels that it kind of roughly breaks down to every legitimate view. And by that I mean you people that watch the ads and don't steal content from creators by using ad blockers. Every view accounts for a little bit less than, say, half a penny. So it usually takes 2 or 3 views to equal 1 cent on YouTube, at least in our space. So 2 to 3 views equals half of a cent. So 5 to 7 views equals a penny.
And you don't get paid until you reach 1,000.
But the first 1,000 views are free. So you can kind of do the math and start to reverse engineer how channels like ours, make money. So yeah, we fund all of this off of Google AdSense, the pre-roll ads, the mid-roll ads, or the post-roll ads, or little banners that pop up. We don't control those. So if you see a Verizon ad one day and then you come and watch another video and it's Ford F-150, it's not like Ford or Verizon called us and paid us to put those ads there. They go through the Google ad dashboard, and since YouTube is Google, those get placed in our content. Ad rates are seasonal, so obviously ad rates are higher. We make more money off of your view, say in November and December, than we do in April or May,
or July
or August, which are absolute deserts in terms of earnings.
Yeah, because everybody's on vacation.
Because everyone's on vacation, and so advertisers aren't spending their money to try and reach you in a tent. They're going to wait for your Black Friday money. So that's one way that we do it. YouTube Premium, which is, I believe, $20 a month. It basically makes all of YouTube ad free, no matter who you watch. In which case, and a lot of you guys I know are YouTube Premium members, and how that works is we get a portion of that money, and based on how much of our content you watch for how long, gives us a larger percentage of that money. So if you're a YouTube Premium member and you only watch our channel, I don't expect anyone to do this, then we would, in theory, split the money with YouTube in its entirety. So maybe YouTube gets, $10, we get $10, hypothetically. So we earn money that way. We also earn some commissions on the affiliate links, but we treat everyone the same when it comes to affiliate links, and we link to everybody that we can, because we don't want you guys thinking that there's some sort of favoritism, that there's any sort of quid pro quo. So when we review, say, something like a Polk R700, obviously you can get it at Listen Up, you can get it at Crutchfield, you can get it at Amazon. And so we're going to link to all of those places, because we want you to have the easiest time getting your hands on something as possible, but we also don't want to be beholden to any one retailer, because that, in my opinion, becomes a conflict of interest. And so we really, really try hard to eliminate those and to eliminate any concerns that you guys may have about how we make our money. And I want to say this because in all honesty, it's no one's business. It really isn't. But I do understand, in the era of social media, especially given what we do and the quote influence that we have, transparency is important. Transparency is important to a degree. And I say to a degree because a lot of you guys are like, where do you live? And I'm not going to tell you. But yes, we earn our money through AdSense, Google Ads, affiliate links, which doesn't cost you guys anything. And like I just got done saying, we link to as many people as possible to.
And we link to the people that.
And we also link to the people that we ourselves have shopped with as customers, without these shops knowing who we are, so that we've been able to test their customer support. Like Kristi will get on a chat with a retailer, as you know, not really herself, ask a couple questions. Like we get the shopping experience. So if we're linking to a store, it's because we've been customers ourselves. And if you're always like, oh, well, they don't link to this place, do with that information what you will. Lastly, we do have some channel sponsors. However, as of this year, and actually a little bit last year, but definitely as of this year and kind of going forward, we are limiting channel sponsors to people that are not in our space. So like Keeps, great channel sponsor. Also, I use their products. So when they approached us, I was like, of course, why wouldn't I? But their presence on our channel has zero to do with home theater equipment, projectors, speakers, whatever. So there can't ever be the argument for bias. And so that's why we've partnered with places like Skillshare, Keeps, Bespoke Post, all of these other places. And if you're kind of like, I got to sit through this ad, we are very grateful for every channel sponsor that we have. And the reason we work with those sponsors is to eliminate the conflict of interest. Yeah, so that's how we do it.
And to put money on the table, feed our dog ourselves, pay insurance, because we're self-employed.
We're self-employed, so
our insurance is really expensive.
Yeah,
and, house mortgage.
Yeah, we have the same. We have the same life bills as anyone else.
Yeah.
And so and on top of it, with supply chain issues being what they are, with brands not doing press samples or brands not wanting to send us stuff, we come out of pocket a lot. And it is just the two of us, contrary to maybe another thought out there is I don't have an assistant. Kristi doesn't have an assistant. Lord knows we would want one. There's no graphic designer. We do everything. Everything that you see on this channel is two people every day. So I'm seeing a high violet Speaker recommendations for vintage receiver amp. Have a Sansui 7 used for records. I would say, given that it's probable that the older stuff is going to have a fair amount of distortion in it, it's not going to be as precise as modern equipment. You are likely going to want the most neutral speaker you can get your hands on if you're shopping new. As far as neutrality and vintage stuff, I have no clue. No clue. I'm just not as well versed on all the ins and outs of vintage speakers. But in terms of modern stuff, I would lean towards neutrality. I really would. Oh, Boxcar. It's their anniversary on Saturday as well.
Oh, how cool. Happy anniversary. Robert McCain has a super chat. Thanks for the live stream, you two. Thoughts on the Sonus Faber Lumina 2 versus higher end Sonus Fabers like the Electa Amator 3. We haven't heard anything outside of the Lumina line.
Well, we haven't had anything outside of the Lumina line on the channel. I
guess I should say I have.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of their stuff back in the day, but it's been a minute. It's definitely a brand I want to hear more from, and it's definitely a brand that has made it known to us that they will hopefully be getting us some stuff that's outside of the Lumina line. So that's all I'll say about that. Well, this is just Orgali's. Does that say
what?
Orgali's. Just thank you for the super chat.
I missed it.
Thank you.
Eric Curtis, thank you also.
Andrew Easton, I have tried Macallan 12. I'm a bigger fan of the 25, but the 12 is really, really good. Force One. Just picked up a pair of Polk R200s based on your review. The speakers reminded me of when I first purchased a pair of Polk SDA ones in the early 80s. Nothing better than nostalgia. Thanks for the content. The 200s are legit, aren't they? They are so good. I'm so glad to hear that you're enjoying them. Thank you very, very much. I'm going back here. Somebody took mine. I'm looking for an SBX7 desktop. Oh, no. I am the worst person to ask desktop advice from.
Sometimes I wish we could refund people.
Ah, I know.
Like,
I
we didn't
know.
answer your question.
I didn't answer your question.
Here's your money back.
I'm so bad, and it's nothing against desktop audio. It's not like I think anyone that enjoys desktop audio is fooling themselves.
Well, the DAC Magic thing, wasn't that a...
Yeah, but I mean, what we do like one of those videos a year.
Well, we liked it though.
We liked it, but
The 200M?
Right, but I don't know all the ins and outs of this product he's referencing, so I don't know if the DAC Magic is even comparable in the same conversation.
Well, look, I'm trying to save you here.
I know. You would be amazed. I do all of my editing now on a laptop. I used to have a whole desk rig with, Kanto speakers, and we still have all of that stuff. I just haven't even unpacked it. I edit on a laptop at our kitchen counter with headphones, and yeah, I'm so sorry. Chris, let's talk about Thor. Do we have to? That movie was terrible, and I only made it about 18 minutes.
It was so bad.
It's going to be a long time before I watch. You and me both, man. It's going to be a long time. I don't know if I do watch another Marvel movie, I am not going to a theater to see it. I'll just wait.
WandaVision is amazing.
It was fun, and then they did that character completely dirty in Multiverse of Madness, another film that was like
stupid,
just dumb. Yeah. QI88, still a year on Deckware waiting list, but currently enjoying Prima Luna Evo integrated tube amp. Curious if you have any experience with Prima Luna. It's been a long time. Last Prima Luna product I heard was before, I believe, Upscale Audio had like the exclusive rights to sell it. So I can't comment on if they're the same, if it's different. I remember liking it. I I remember liking it. I remember being impressed with the build quality, but the last time I heard Prima Luna products, they were being sold for like $700-800. And now I went over to Upscale Audio's website maybe a couple weeks ago, and seeing that they're like $2 and $3 and $5,000 now, I was like, whoa, that's some serious inflation. So now I am kind of curious. I am curious if something's different, because that product used to be about $1,000.
Paul Ogdom has an interesting question. It's not super chat, but
okay, go for it.
Just want to say that the quality of your video is outstanding. You guys can still be considered a niche channel. So what is driving that focus on quality?
What drives the focus on quality? That is a great question. For me, it's all about respect, and it's about respect for the audience. Everyone's time is precious, and I truly, wholeheartedly mean this. Everyone's time is precious, and when you guys spend 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 minutes with us twice a week, I understand that that is a choice, and that is time that you are taking out of your life to give to us. And I don't ever want to take that for granted, and I don't ever want you to feel as if you tuned into something that the person that created the content for you didn't deem as important as your time. And some of you may roll your eyes at me and be like, it's a YouTube video. I'm sorry. There's nothing more valuable in this world than time. And if you're going to give me a moment of yours, I want you to know that you got more than a moment of mine in the creation of something. And I consider that a fair transaction. So that is honestly, the biggest motivator for why we go to the lengths that we go to. The second reason is I come from a commercial background. I want whatever I put out there, and this stems back to my college days. I want whatever I put out there to be the best possible thing that I could do in that moment, given whatever constraints that I had. And nothing, and I mean nothing, puts me in a downward spiral more than when I see a mistake that I didn't catch in the moment, but I'm in like editing and I'm like, that shot is an intact, perfect focus and I didn't catch it. Or there's a wobble in the camera, or I missed the lighting on my face for the A camera stuff. Like, it drives me crazy. And Kristi can attest to it. She'll tell you that I'm obsessive about it. Mm-hmm. Like, it bugged me to no end that the first 6 live streams we did looked terrible, that the sound was out of sync, because part of my caring about your time and the product that I put out means that now I've created an expectation, and any time that I can't adhere to that expectation, it just destroys me. And maybe that's not really the most healthy thing. Nevertheless, that is the reason. It just comes down to respect for your time. Nothing makes my skin crawl more than when, people joke about not giving something their best. It just, I've worked with people like in my ad agency days.
Are you mean like people that brag about like that they don't really care, or
like they don't really,
yeah,
people that joke or brag or think that it's this thing like, oh, I work 4 minutes a week, and it's like, well, good on you, but at the same time, it's like, I think that's taking advantage of someone's time, but that's just me. But I mean, I've worked with people like back in my ad agency days where they would just phone it in. They just phone it in, and I'd be like, you're talented. I can see it clear as day. That's why we hired you. But you're gonna have to find a different place to work, because I'm looking for someone that cares as much as I do. And that's really what drives me.
Philip Throckmorton has a super chat. It's green, by the way.
Okay, let me get down there.
loved the Kanto YU6, but sold them and got the Klipsch RP 600Ms. He liked them initially, but finds them super fatiguing. Any advice for something upmarket of the YU6 with a similar sound?
YU6 with a similar sound. Let me turn on the comments again here. Okay. So you had the first gen 600Ms. Well, I can tell you that the second gen 600Ms are not quite as bright. I think you're going to find the R200s from Polk Audio to be like Kantos, but better, potentially. Rebel M16s are going to have that little extra something in the tweeter without being bright. And I know those are currently like always on perma sale, at least at Crutchfield. So you'll probably pick up a pair for less than R200s. That probably Kanto, going from Kanto, those would be my two suggestions from Kanto. Yeah. Let's see. I'm seeing, oh, Mark. Thank you very, very much. Really, really appreciate that. You helped me decide on buying an Audiolab 6000A Play, Blue Sound Node, and Klipsch RP8000F. Thank you. I think you have assembled a great system. You have put together the right amplifier, speaker, and streamer that everything is going to play to everything else's strengths. So good on you. I really hope you enjoy it or are enjoying it. And if you ever want an upgrade, it's not going to be in the system. You don't need new components. If I ever get around to it, a little mini DSP 2x4 HD dongle between your Node and the Audiolab, make the speakers perfect in your room, and you're done, buddy. You're done. You'll be amazed. It's done. Thank you. No question, just a thank you. Me again. Good night. It's nearly 2 a.m. Go to bed. Go to bed, dude. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Joey the Dime has a super chat.
Joey the Dime.
It's an orange one.
Yep.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I have a pair of Polk LSIM 705s. Any thoughts about pairing them with a Parasound 200 preamp, Parasound 212 5V2 amp?
I think you're going to be great, honestly. The Parasound Classic line, which is where that 2125 V2 is from, and the 200, the Classic line gets overlooked a lot, and it's really, really good. It may not be flashy like Halo, but it's a solid product. I think you're fine. I think it's going to be a great sounding setup. Really, really do.
Demille has a Hecko question.
Where is Demille?
It should be right next to Joey's.
Right next to Joey's. Where's Demille? I don't see Demille.
It's yellow, gold.
It's a super chat?
Yeah.
Did he get rid of it?
No.
Oh, there. No, that's a different one. Hold on. Oh, I got you.
What do you think
Demille, what do you think about the Hecko ambient line? I was thinking of getting 7 of the ambient 44Fs. I have not heard the ambient line, and it is highly unlikely that I will ever get to hear another Hecko product again. All right. I always promise to tell you guys the truth. So full transparency. Hecko was a line that the premium, right?
Premium
Audio Group, aka Klipsch, brought into the United States. At the time, Hecko was open to a lot of different outlets, retailers, places you could get them. And Klipsch, the powers that be at Klipsch, were the ones that were our contacts in getting the Hecko line brought into this house for us to review it.
The
Aurora 700s in the matching center and all of that.
Which was a great speaker.
Great speaker. Actually, I believe that Hecko makes fantastic products. I want to say that outright. Absolutely nothing against the brand. Absolutely nothing. We were among, if not the first people in the US to talk about that brand. After our review, because that product, I guess, did very well, because if you saw that review, you know that we were positive on it. After that review, we wanted to do more Heko products. And we reached out to our contacts at Klipsch / their parent company, and they let us know that they had basically moved all of their stock to one specific retailer. And we don't have any affiliation with this one specific retailer, and it's not because they won't take our call or anything like that. We don't want to do business with them. And because they now control the line, it's very unlikely that we will now be able to talk about Heko in the future. I'm not willing to play their games. I'll just leave it like that. I'm not willing to play their games, and I don't want to be beholden to a retailer to do anything. And so, yeah, it's unfortunate. I really wish that their parent company hadn't made that move. I think it's restrictive. I argued for them to open it back up to other retailers, but they thought differently. I think Heko makes a great product. I really want to stress that. I have nothing against the brand. I love what they do, and if you can get your hands on a pair of Hekos and they're your cup of tea, you're gonna love them. They're gonna be great. But there's too much fine print for us as creators to deal with this particular retailer, and I won't do it. I'm seeing hi from way Eastern Canada. Love you guys. The channel picked up my Falcon Ram Studio 20s to pair with my. I think, by the way I stopped reading your question, I've answered it. Are you talking about is the Falcon the MoFi reissue of like the British speaker? If I'm thinking correctly, I know what speaker you're talking about, but I've never heard it. So I don't have any thoughts. And I want to hear it, but as I understand it, MoFi is sold out of those. They're not available anymore. Sorry, but thank you so much for watching and for just all the support. Let's see. Henrique? I came across this channel the first few times searching for soundbar reviews, stayed for your personalities. Now I watch almost every review. They're in-depth and pleasant to watch. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's one of the things that we talk about, Kristi and I talk about in terms of like, is the personality coming through in the reviews? Admittedly, they're a little bit more structured than these live streams. So if you tune into the live streams, you may see a different side of either of us. But it means a lot to me that the personable nature of just who we are as people is coming through even in our more formal reviews. So thank you very much. Let's see here. Boxcar gets it. Boxcar gets it. Ooh, Bill Martins. Bill, I remember seeing Bill a little bit more frequently, I think, right? I don't know if I've seen you in the comments as recently. I hope you're well. Any chance to review Rebel speakers? Well, we did the M16. I've been made aware of from Rebel at the moment. So I don't know when the next one will be. If there is one sooner than later, it's likely because I'm just that curious and we went out and bought another pair of Rebels. But they're a great brand. I had the Salon 2s as reference years and years and years ago and loved them. Alex, bummer that manufacturers offer multi-zone receivers and room correction but don't support room correction for second and third zones. My second zone has room issues. Sometimes I like to party. Yeah. Although I think maybe the workaround with some of these more higher end receivers, you can kind of configure the amplifier section multiple different ways. Maybe there's a workaround in there somewhere, but again, I don't rock multi-zones. So anyway.
I just want to read this really quickly. This is a member of ours, Hifi, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of 2020, I lost my home, my career, music business, and my fiance, and I got depression, tried suicide twice, lived on park benches. Your channel helps me daily. Love the music.
Wow. Why am I not seeing this comment?
Well, it's on a super chat. It
doesn't matter. I want to see this comment.
It's towards. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I don't know why you're not seeing it. I just came across it, but I just wanted to read that and say that I'm so glad that any part of this channel helps you get through your day. Just really is touching.
And I'm gonna do my best to just be really stiff upper lip here. Oh man. All right. I'm trying to find your comment so that what I'm about to say has context for people that may tune in tomorrow or the next day, but I'm not seeing it. So that's on me, and I apologize. I am so glad that you're here. And I mean that. I am. I'm very glad that you're here, and I am deeply sorry that the bad side of life found you for a moment. No stranger to adversity myself, and having experiences that I'm grateful to have had, but also that I'm hopeful that no one ever experiences anything like what I've gone through. I can say that any day that you wake up and get to watch a YouTube video or just be grateful for anything is a good day. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for spending your time with us, and I am grateful that anything that we have done has been beneficial and helpful to you in any way. Because as it's abundantly clear, we talk about toys and gadgets and things that ultimately aren't mission critical. But I understand escapism is important, and I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for music, if it wasn't for a stereo in my piece of crap Ford Probe, and that kept getting broken into so people could steal my Discman. Arguably some of the most important piece of AV equipment I've ever owned was a stupid Discman that had a tape deck adapter so that I could just drive in the middle of the night and deal with my depression. So yeah. And as someone who has had to pick themselves up from losing a lot, it's not easy, but it's doable. It's doable. 10 years ago, I lost my career, I lost my house, I lost my cars, I lost everything, and I was living in a trailer. You can do it. You can do it. So, but thank you.
Thomas Seegers asked, "What do you guys think of the Yamaha V6A?" We liked it quite a bit, and I actually reached out to Yamaha recently to see if we could get one of the other receivers in that line because I'm sorry, I think I'm misspeaking. It was the A8A that we reviewed.
I mean, we had the V6 and we used that forever. Then we did the A8A and we have now requested the A4A.
Whatever, something else.
The entry level of the Avantage line.
To give that to give that line a revisit since they have supposedly fixed some things that were problematic back when we initially reviewed the 8.8a, but I was told that there are still more updates coming, and so they're not sending us they're not going to send us anything until the
updates,
the cake is fully baked, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, so we're going to get some more Yamaha stuff. I think they make great receivers, detachable foot and all. But let's see here. We're going to go, I just looked up at the time. Man, it goes so fast with y'all. We're going to go for another 15 minutes. Let's see if we can't rapid fire and I don't get too crazy.
Andrew Easton super chat a little while ago. Thank you so much. When are you going to do a whiskey review channel?
I gotta. That stuff can get expensive too. I don't know. Maybe when I've said everything I need to say about audio, I'm gonna have to find another topic to.
We'd love to talk about other things. I think our biggest challenge or question is whether or not we should keep it on the same channel or try another channel. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would quickly tell us to do another channel. But it's not easy starting from scratch, guys. But there are other things that we would love to talk about. And just really quick, Max Power 78, thank you so much for the super chat. There was no question.
Oh, okay.
Just a thank you.
Whiskey review. John, R700s versus R200s if you have a sub running at the low end. If you already own a sub, get the R200s, blend them together. Away you go. Gary Levin, have you had a chance to experience the Hifi Rose RS150B DAC streamer? If so, I'd like to know what you think. We have it. I have been enjoying it. I am an Apple user, iOS devices. Admittedly, there have been some firmware updates on the Rose that my particular iPhone is not liking as much. So I have 2 Android phones now, and I'm continuing my testing of the Hifi Rose. It is a brilliant little piece of do-all equipment. I will say this, it doesn't appear to like LG products with respect to HDMI lip sync issues. Only LG for some reason. Works fine with Samsung, Sony, everything else that I've been able to test so far. But that's all I'll say. Our full review of that, I think, is coming in about a month or so. Me again. That's just your meme now at this point.
No, it's like Arvin Alano's.
Nobody asked.
Nobody asked.
Nobody asked, but
Gary Levin. Oh, that's the one you just said.
Yeah. Oh, here's one. Hey, both. Love your channel. Thank you for all the reviews. What do you do to remember stuff about each equipment and to keep your sanity? I have a notebook. I have a journal. I have an equipment journal, and I jot a ton of stuff down. I also text myself tons of notes. And contrary to popular belief, I keep records and measurements of all the gear so that at a minimum, I objectively can refer back to something that we no longer have in house and go, if I make a statement like, hey, this speaker has more bass presence than another one, I can go back to the graph and quantify that. But that helps a lot. Hey, Katie.
I just asked Andrew to hook everything up again right before the review so that I can remember all the things that I thought the first time I heard them.
This is also true. She'll send me out to the storage locker or something and be like, go get me this, grab this. Did I hear that? Go grab this again. And then bring me something else
and set them side by side.
Set them all side by side.
And then we're gonna have an A/B session.
And then we're gonna A/B them. And okay, now play that. Well, okay, now do that one. Okay, now do that one. Go back to the other one. And stuff like that. Oh man. Oh, here we go. Bill Martin, what is Kristi's dream system? And does Andrew agree?
Whew. Well, I think you may have to tune in a few days.
Oh, yeah.
For that review.
Yeah, the Sunday.
But you know, I've actually been thinking about that review that's coming up. Which I'm not regretting what I said or that. Anyway, you have to watch that review. But if I had to pick another system, I would still go back to the La Scalas, the Klipsch La Scalas. That experience is still
it's just burned in your mind. It's just
burned into my memory.
Yeah.
I remember one night when we really, really got into listening to them, like we were cooking dinner and we were drinking some wine and we just played song after song after song. This is when we still lived in Austin.
Yeah, bawling our eyes out.
And we cried, we danced, we laughed, we sang. It was just such a really awesome moment. And those kind of moments are rare. Yeah. Not to say that you can't have those same moments with, a $5 whatever.
I mean, you can have it. I mean, if you make the conscious effort to have moments like that with your significant other, you can do it with a Bose Wave radio. But there was just something about that particular setup, the Deckware La Scala, that it like motivated it.
Yeah.
It motivated. But you want to know what? Oddly enough, the only other product that we've had so far that motivated a similar reaction from us, not on a critical listening level, but on a just play that. Okay, now go play that. And then we're dancing around the living room like fools. Was that damn turntable.
Oh, the Andover.
The Andover all-in-one turntable.
Oh yeah, we love that.
The
spin bass.
The spin, not the spin deck, the spin bass, like the $3,000 like sub record shelf speaker turntable built in. We reviewed it like 2 years ago. And a lot of you were like, that's dumb. And I'm like, guys, you don't understand. Like, I don't know what it is about this system, but I've never listened to more records in my life.
It created a habit.
It did. It created a habit.
Every morning we would wake up,
put a record on,
have our coffee and breakfast, and just that was how we started every day for a while until we had to change the system out. But
yeah, I'm not going to go so far as to say if you get the Andover, whatever, you don't need a system. It's the greatest thing. It's not. But it created a routine, a music routine, and I miss that. I do.
Harsha Lanka, thank you so much for your super chat. I see you have a question. Can we expect? It was not tied to the super chat, so you're not going to find it. Okay. The question was, can we expect to see a REL subwoofer review? You will not likely see any subwoofer review on this channel. You guys don't watch them. And that's
not okay. For the record, that's not us digging. That's not a knock against you guys. It's just in general, enthusiasts don't watch subwoofer reviews.
I don't think you watch them no matter what channel it is.
No, but that's what I'm saying is in general, enthusiasts, for whatever reason, you have a lot of questions about subwoofers, but it's not a topic that you watch in any sort of with any sort of consistency. And so when we create over 100 videos a year, but we have to be very selective. Like we can't afford, literally, we can't afford to make content that someone is not going to watch. Not to say that we won't take risks or we won't talk about something that may have a limited audience. I mean, hell, the what was it? The Pantheon speaker.
Oh, the
alien egg. Like that's one of those reviews where we often internally between Kristi and myself will just say, well, that one's for us. This is for us because we saw that speaker on Instagram and we're like, I'm like, we got to see this, And
it was great.
And it's fun. It's great. We still have it in the house.
And it was one of the few things that
got us through the move.
Because before we addressed some of the
room issues
we were having,
it was
the one thing that we could listen to,
we
could stomach listening to.
But yeah, the few subwoofer reviews that we've done, I mean, they're some of the lowest performing reviews or videos that we've ever created.
Those and headphones and turntables.
Yeah, turntables, same thing. Like, you all love seeing it, you love talking about it, but you don't watch turntable reviews, which is why we just don't do them very much. It has to be pretty damn unique or special, because there are certain thresholds that a video has to hit. If not, it actually cost us money to create it. We didn't, make it back, if you will.
I don't know if you answered this, Chris Veltman. Last question. This was a super chat. Which hi-fi brand do you wish all of your subscribers would reach out to for future reviews?
Honestly, Chris, I love it when you guys go to bat for us. I really do. I hope everyone's being respectful.
I'm sure they are.
And I'm sure you are, but I just want to put that out there. If you go to bat for us, just remember, it's not personal from us or a brand. Some people legitimately, they're new to the YouTube, like brands, they're new to this concept of YouTube. And so they are hearing about stuff for the first time. So always keep that in mind. Please be respectful. I don't want to send anyone like flooding a particular brand, because if a brand isn't sending us stuff, it's not because we haven't tried. It's just a decision. That usually, like at this point, emails to Paradigm aren't going to matter. You know what I mean? Like, so Anthem, Martin Logan,
or to Sonos,
or like Sonos, they're not going to move the needle. These brands have made it a choice just not to do this, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't harbor any ill will. I've been a Paradigm customer arguably more than any other brand that we've ever had on the channel.
Besides B&W.
Like, talk about my brands, Paradigm and B&W, since I was like
and Bang & Olufsen.
A little fella, and Bang & Olufsen. So yeah, I don't want to send anyone anywhere, but if you happen to come across a brand, or a cool product, like send me a DM on Instagram or leave a comment, and turn us on to it and let us go look at it. I don't pretend to know every brand or every product, and I'm always excited to read or see something from someone that I was like, oh, I didn't know these guys existed.
But I agree with you. Yeah. I really do. I agreed, like, don't go after them and, be rude or anything. Not that I think you would, but I do think that if there is something you're not seeing on the channel, that it is good to voice your requests directly to the brand. I mean, I think going maybe through social media is probably the most convenient way for you to do it, and maybe might likely get you the best response. Or because if you email them, the only people seeing that exchange are you and them.
Yeah.
And they can ignore it easily and just move on with life.
Yeah.
Or tell you what they think you want to hear. But through social media, like through Twitter or on Instagram or something that's a little bit more public, I think that there is a way to potentially influence things, like maybe getting review samples sent to whatever creator it is that you want.
The polite, gentle nudge sometimes works. I apologize, I don't know this name, but thank you for the super chat. Quick question: top 5 speakers for Parasound Halo Hint 6. Anything from the Polk Reserve line is going to probably do very well with Parasound Hint 6. I thought the Focal K2s were good, but I don't know if that would be my long-term solution. I didn't care for our Klipsch Heritage speakers on the Hint 6. I think I tried them briefly. I love the Dyne Audio on the Hint 6. I loved the High Moon stuff on the Hint 6. Q Acoustic Concept 300 on the Hint 6 was really nice. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that.
When we gonna see some 300-pound tube amplifier review? I don't know, man.
Kyle, good for you, dude. Keep it up. It's important stuff. and appreciate you sharing. Really do. When are we going to see some 300B tube amplifier? I don't know. Although I got to admit, guys, so you know I love Canner audio. I've got the A110 tube integrated. That I get it. It's stupid expensive, but it's kind of like a really big deckware. That's why I like it. They just came out with a whole new line of amps. Wow. I want them so bad. Well, okay. I want to hear them so bad before I decide if I want them, but they are absolutely gorgeous. I made the mistake of writing them and being like, hey, if you wouldn't mind, share me the product sheets and some retail pricing. And they're like, yeah, of course. Here comes the email. It's like 20 grand an amp. I was like, oh.
Dagger to the heart.
Like, oh.
That hurts.
Oh. It's like, but oh man, they look good. They look good.
Guitar 42 has a super chat.
Yeah,
do you see it?
I just got it. Love the channel. I listen to jazz and classical. Can you recommend a speaker to pair with the Audiolab 6000A Play? I'll tell you this much. You listen to a lot of the same stuff that I actually listen to all day, every day. Tune in Sunday. I mean this. Tune in this Sunday. Tune in Thursday. And then tune in next Sunday. If you don't have a clearer picture, then you can add Polk to that list and Revel to that list. But tune in tune in Sunday, Thursday, and then Sunday.
I think that we have gotten through all of the super chats.
Thank you, Kay, for that last minute. Yeah. All right. Guys, I think we're going to sign off for the day. This was fun. This was a good one. I hope everything went smoothly. We had some graphics. We had some graphics today. I hope they worked and they didn't suck. But thank you. We do this every third Thursday of the month. So if you're ever wondering, when are you gonna do live stream again? If it's getting to the third Thursday of the month, we're gonna see you right here around 3 p.m. Whatever time that is where you are. So I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Remember, the only person who has to like anything in your life is you. Just forget the sound. Just be happy. Be happy. Don't let anyone be a thief of your joy or a vampire of your time. Okay? Be happy. Have a great weekend. We will see you guys Sunday in the comments. And just thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
And thank you to everybody that spent time with us and to all the super chats. Again, if for some reason we didn't get to your super chat during the live session, I'm going to go back through and make sure that I actually think we got to everybody this time.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we got to everybody.
But if for whatever reason I missed your super chat, do not hesitate to once the stream is over to leave a comment in the comment section, and I will make sure we get that answered.
Yeah. And if you're just joining us, I am sorry that we are about to sign off, but we leave all of these up for y'all, and Kristi will be timestamping and adding stuff in the description to make this 2.5 hour, whatever this was, more digestible.
I wasn't planning on doing that.
Well, don't you normally go in?
No.
Oh.
Thanks for adding more work to my...
Sorry. Well, she does stuff and she answers your questions. So
the time stamping thing it'd be
a little difficult. Although I do have graphics on the screen now, so that maybe makes it easy. Anyway, we're now having administrative discussions, rambling because we don't want to say goodbye. But it is time for us to go.
We got to walk our dog.
We got to walk the dog. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day and evening, guys. Bye.
Bye.